students for the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities at OP Jindal Global University. Now, we are here for the open house today for the Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, and the topic for this particular open house is Liberal Arts in the High-Tech World. I would like to call upon our eminent Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. C. Rajkumar, to open the open house for all of us here. Professor, on the dais.
Thank you very much. So let me just first of all extend a warm welcome to all our parents who are present here, who are considering the possibility of their children studying at the OP Jindal Global University. I will leave my colleagues to speak a bit more about the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities and the particular program. I also want to recognize the presence of the faculty members of the Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, and also send the warm regards of Professor Kathleen Modrowski, the Dean of the school, who is right now back in the United States and should be here in the next few weeks. Quickly, I want to introduce the university because the Liberal Arts School is part of the larger university that we have here with 12 different schools. Just to give you a bit of history, this university was established through a philanthropic endowment by our founding chancellor and benefactor, Mr. Jindal. I had the privilege to study in two Indian institutions before I got a fellowship to go to Oxford. I studied in Loyola College Madras and University of Delhi, after which I got the Rhodes Scholarship to go to Oxford in 1998. I was a student in Oxford, and I was deeply inspired by my education there. And that was, I was 24 years old, and I really felt that that was a transformative education that I was receiving there, and began to dream about the idea of building a university in India. To cut the story short, I got a few fellowships to go to Harvard, did my master's there, and then practiced law in New York, and then taught law in Japan and taught law in Hong Kong for many years, and wrote a paper entitled Establishing India's First Global University, and got to meet with Mr. Jindal in the year 2006 and 2007, and spent a year persuading him to do three things. One, to make a substantial financial commitment. Second, to do it in a not-for-profit manner. And third, to let us have the academic freedom and autonomy and independence to build a world-class university in India. By late 2007, he agreed to it, and early 2008, I moved to India, and we began the process of institution building, from land acquisition, formulation of curriculum, course structure, program development, faculty recruitment plan, student admissions process, hiring of architects, construction engineers, contractors, and persuading the government to pass a new law to establish the first private university in the state of Haryana. As late as 27th January 2009, the law was passed, and soon after I was appointed as the first Vice Chancellor of the university, and we began the process of recruitment of faculty, admission of students, and of course construction of campus. In a span of less than 6 months, we built over 100,000 square feet of built-up space, and during the same time we recruited faculty, admitted students, and as promised to Mr. Jindal, on 30th September 2009, we began the first academic session of the university with only 100 students, 10 faculty members, 20 administrative staff, 4 classrooms, and 1 room, which was my office, the office of the 10 faculty members, and the 20 administrative staff, and 1 school, the law school. That was a very modest beginning on 30th September 2009. We never looked back since then. Year on year, from 2009 onwards, we built a new school, the Business School, the School of International Affairs, the School of Government and Public Policy, the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, the School of Journalism and Communication, the School of Art and Architecture, the School of Banking and Finance, the School of Environment and Sustainability, the School of Psychology and Counseling, the School of Languages and Literature, the School of Public Health and Human Development. These 12 schools that have been established over the last 14 years has in many ways redefined and reimagined the future of Indian higher education. Our effort from the very beginning was to attempt to build a world-class university in India with the best of Indian traditions that have been evolved over 2,000 years ago. India, as I'm sure you know, had the privilege of hosting Nalanda, Takshashila, Vallabhi and Vikramshila institutions nearly 2,000 years ago, long before Oxford and Cambridge, which is 800 years old, long before Bologna, which is 900 years old. Indian tradition, Indian civilization had made those contributions. At the dawn of independence, we had barely 20 institutions, and today we have over 1,100 universities and 50,000 plus colleges. That expansion has been quite remarkable, but unfortunately this expansion also had come with a cost of quality and excellence, and that's exactly what we try to do. So there are 5 big aspects and visionary ideas that prompted us to build this university. First was our strong commitment to internationalization and global engagement. My colleagues will talk more specifically about the liberal arts school, but all our schools are pretty global in nature. We have partnerships with over 400 universities across 70 countries in which we do significantly impactful things for our faculty, for our students. We have student exchange programs, dual degree programs, study abroad programs in many institutions, including at Oxford, at Sciences Po in France, at Harvard, at Columbia, and many other institutions. Our second aspect of the global is the fact that our faculty members, these full-time faculty members, the 1,100 plus, they come from 50 countries in the world. They are not visiting faculty, but they live and work along with our other colleagues from India, across India, but also having studied from top institutions in India and around the world. They become part of this global community that we have been able to create here in Sonipat. The second aspect of our university is our strong commitment to interdisciplinarity, the epitome of which is reflected in the curriculum, course structure, pedagogy, and the evolution of the Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. In fact, the Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities' own curriculum is reflection of the larger vision of the university, which is to promote interdisciplinarity deeply embedded and woven across all schools and programs. I'm happy to report that every day from morning 9 to around 4 p.m., while we offer core and elective courses across each school of the university, after 4 p.m. till almost 11 p.m. we end up offering nearly 400 plus elective courses that are available for students across all schools and programs, and they have no additional cost involved in it. In fact, we are one of those universities, we don't peg the cost of education to credits, but we essentially provide opportunity for our students regardless of whichever school or program that they are part of, so long as they are enrolled in the university itself. The third aspect of our university is our strong commitment to research. We believe in the vision of universities being research institutions. We believe in the idea of universities becoming transformative institutions. We believe in the idea of universities having impact in the community and the society that they are part of, and that's why we have 50 research centers and 3 research and capacity building institutes, each of which is advancing the research agenda. Our faculty members are at the driving force behind that rigorous academic research leading to publications, and the research vision of the university has been translated to the students. In fact, the Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities took a pioneering decision to organize and host student research colloquiums, which is part of the vision of the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, whereby research is not only confined to what faculty members do, but also what students end up doing as well. The fourth aspect of our university is our strong commitment to diversity, pluralism, and inclusivity. We strongly believe in the diverse community that we built. The students from 60 countries in the world, faculty from 50 countries in the world, faculty and students from across all states and union territories of India. We're very conscious of the fact that we are a diverse society and institutions should reflect the diversity. Equally important is our commitment to providing access to students who can't afford. From the very beginning, we have been very deeply committed to it because of the vision of our Chancellor, Mr. Naveen Jindal, who recognized from the very beginning that access to education is so critical. In fact, I had the privilege of receiving scholarships to study abroad. I come from a middle-class family in India. My father is a professor and mother is a government doctor. And for me to have studied in Delhi University was a big deal, not because Delhi University was expensive, but to live in Delhi was expensive. So for me to move from Chennai to come to Delhi was a very big deal in terms of the cost involved, and so I couldn't have imagined to go to Oxford and Harvard but for the 100% scholarships I received in those countries and institutions. Most of our faculty members, including the faculty members of the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities who received such education around the world, they have been recipients of scholarships. They have been able to receive access. We have tried our best and continue to try in the last 14 years. We have spent nearly 300 crores of rupees towards scholarships for our students. This has enabled multiple generations of students to get access to education, and we have ensured that the tuition fee cost is as less as possible, while ensuring that we are able to provide the kind of world-class education that an institution can be. We don't receive any government funding, we don't receive any subsidies, we are entirely self-funded, but despite that we are able to keep the cost as low as possible compared to the institutions that are similarly situated around the world like us, and to also provide as much scholarship as possible to create that access. This is because of the generosity and true magnanimity of our Chancellor, Mr. Jindal. The last part of it is our strong commitment to experiential learning. Again, the Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities epitomizes the idea of experiential learning. Students have opportunities to work outside the classroom and the university, engaging with the community and the society at large. That has a huge impact on the life and learning of a student in the liberal arts school, and that I believe is so critical for their own evolution. I also want to say that these 14 years have been quite remarkable for us. We've now been ranked consistently as India's first ranked private university. Our law school is ranked first both in public and private. But more than the rankings, our true recognition has happened through India recognizing us in ways that is a true privilege for us. I'm sure you know that almost 4 years ago, the Honorable Prime Minister of India made a major public policy announcement in the field of education, which is to announce the policy relating to institutions of eminence. A very elaborate policy was announced. A very transparent process was created through which 140 plus institutions out of 1,100 institutions applied for the institution of eminence status. And the vision was to identify 10 public and 10 private universities and give them the status of an institution of eminence, with a view to propel them to become world-class universities in the years to come. Such a policy had already been established in Japan almost 2 decades ago, in China a few decades ago, and also in Russia in more recent times. And India, of course, was a latecomer in that idea. Nevertheless, it was quite thoughtful on the part of the government and the Prime Minister to make that announcement. And since then, a very detailed process led to selection of 8 public universities and 4 private universities which have been declared as institutions of eminence. And we are the only non-STEM, non-medicine, purely liberal arts and humanities university which has been given the status of institution of eminence. On a lighter vein, I can say that our neighboring university is not one of the institutions of eminence, but it is also important to mention that this recognition as an institution of eminence is an important signal to the vision of what the university has been able to do in the last 14 years, and to also help us achieve our other objectives to be a more comprehensive and more inclusive, a more interdisciplinary, a more globally engaged, a more research-oriented university. I also want to mention that the university itself is a vibrant intellectual community, but also a community whereby many other talents and skills of our students are nurtured. We have a very active sports community. You can look around the campus. It's absolutely fantastic. I wish Jindal existed when I was a student. It's so enviable for our students to experience this infrastructure in terms of sports and extracurricular activities and music and theatre and drama and all of that. This Performing Arts Academy is also a movie theatre where our students enjoy the experience of being on campus. We have an amazing array of facilities besides the intellectual environment that we've created. Our faculty are absolutely amazing. In fact, I must tell you that the Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, the faculty members are very, very closely connected with the students. There is a very hands-on approach towards mentoring students, but also the over 25 plus student-run societies which are on campus actively engaged makes the life of a student on campus much more than just being in a good academically oriented university. I also want to mention that because students live here and spend formative years of their life, there are also other things that we take care, including food, which is actually handled by a French multinational corporation called the Sodexo. We take a lot of efforts to ensure that the Sodexo food that is offered to both faculty and students is of the highest standards when it comes to quality and nutritional content and its value. There are committees both run by students as well as administration which closely monitors both the menu and the actual outcome of that menu, which leads to a balanced diet on the part of the students. Of course, as much as we do all of that, we have many unhealthy restaurants, and from Domino's pizzas to all kinds of things that nobody should be eating. They're all on campus for our students to experience that. We've left that part of it to the choices that individuals will make when it comes to health and other reasons. We have a very good health center which takes care of students when it comes to basic health related ailments that they may suffer. We have ambulance and doctors and nurses and others who are on campus working round the clock. We have a security system which has CCTV cameras, and we are not in a kind of a city. We are slightly outside the city, so we need to ensure that the safety, security and well-being of our students is paramount, and we made sure that those things are taken care of. We are very conscious of the fact that we want to have a safe community. Smoking, drinking and drugs are prohibited on campus. We take a lot of effort to ensure that the campus is free from all of that. But I must tell you that these things do happen, and when they happen, we take action against our students who are engaged in these activities. Despite all our efforts, there are enough reasons why such things happen in every campus across every school, college, university in India and around the world, and we don't brush it under the carpet. I make it a point to tell our parents that this is not parents should not think that they have deposited their children here and we are going to become their parents. No, we are not. This is going to be a joint effort. We're going to together share the responsibility of making sure that they have a good experience on campus. When they do engage in activities that are in violation of the student code of conduct, including smoking, drinking or drugs, action will be taken against them. We have X-ray machines, sniffer dogs, marshals, and also student welfare interventions, wardens and others who are there to protect the safety and well-being of the student so that they do not engage in these activities. But I must tell you, all the parents, that if a determined student is out there to break all rules and regulations and engage in violations of student code of conduct, to engage in smoking, drinking or drug abuse, no force on law can stop them from doing it. And that's exactly what we should guard against it. And I seek your own cooperation as you think about having your own children study in any school, college or university in the country or beyond. I want to say that it's a very special moment for students to think about education and studying in an institution like this, because all I can say is that your life is going to change. That's exactly what the mission that we have set out to, and we have seen it happening. We had our first batch graduating in the year 2012. And it's now over 10 years of graduations and 8,000 plus alumni spread across all over the world. I was recently in London where I hosted an alumni dinner, and I thought 30 people would turn up. I had 75 people coming in the city of London who are all alumni studying and working and doing various things there. And I believe there are alumni associations in New York and in Mumbai and Bangalore and Delhi and of course Melbourne and Sydney and other places in the world. So in some ways what we have tried to do, and to a large extent been successful, is to create a new vision and imagination for Indian higher education that benchmarks itself with the best in the world. Why not? I mean, after 75 years of independence, why can't we imagine an institution that can be so transformative, so impactful, that we could provide that opportunity to the best of our own students? And the reality is that while we are an old civilization, we are a young nation. Just we can all be proud of the fact that today we are the largest population in the world, 1.45 billion people. But that's not the most important part of what we are. The most important part of what we are is that of this 1.45 billion people, 950 million are less than 35 years of age. That's our strength. The students who are going to join the Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, those students who are less than 35, not your parents who are not less than 35, not Upasana who is not less than 35, not me, not any one of your teachers, but you are the future, you are the change makers, you are the ones who are going to bring that change to the world. And at the dawn of Indian independence, our life expectancy was approximately 32, and today it is 72. And in the next 2 decades, it will become 80. That means when most of the Western world will become older, when most of Eastern world, including China and Japan, will become older, India will be younger, and will be younger for a longer time. Young Indians, including the students and graduates of Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, are going to be shaping the future of India and the future of the world. We are here to empower them, to enable them, to inspire them, to facilitate those opportunities for them to make that change. And so I invite you to be part of that dream, that aspiration that will help you to make a difference to the world and the society that we live. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing such a wonderful journey of JGU. Yeah. So, okay. Sir has to leave in another 10 minutes, so we'll start the Q&A, and then I will have a message shown by Professor Kathleen Madrowski, who is the Dean of Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. So in case if you have any questions in particular to be asked with respect to the program, with respect to the curriculum, international collaborations, internships and placements or anything, sir is going to take that. So anyone, if you have any questions, we have mics available, you can ask sir.
All right, so great. So what I thought, I have 10 more minutes. I want to just feel free to ask any questions. I know parents may be reluctant about asking, so it's a complete open house. Just ask any questions on the specific aspect of the school and the program. You can ask 10 minutes later. My colleagues are here. On more general aspects of the university and your overall interest, I'm happy to take that as well.
Yeah. So my name is Ayush Das Gupta. I'm taking admission in the 2023 batch, and I wanted to ask about about the short-term study abroad program and the semester exchange programs. What is the difference between them?
Very good. Great question. I'll quickly answer that. Please sit down. So the idea of a short-term study abroad program is basically 2 to 3 weeks, and sometimes it can be a 1-month program. It happens in different parts of the world, and one can be part of it, and you will have to, obviously we facilitate it. Our faculty also will join in some of the programs, but one pays for it and goes. So we have a program at Harvard, at Oxford, and other places. Student exchange program is slightly different. Typically, the short-term study abroad program is 2 weeks, 3 weeks, up to a month. Student exchange program is typically 1 semester long. And the interesting thing about a student exchange program is that you don't pay for your tuition to the international institution. It is whatever tuition fee you are paid here will enable you to be there, and credits get transferred for it. And what ends up happening is you will of course take care of your air travel and insurance and food and everything there, but the tuition fee, which is a very big part of any of this education, is not paid there, and you being a student here, whatever you are paid here will enable you to pursue the student exchange program. We also have another thing which is called a semester abroad program, which again, in fact, we have University of California, Berkeley, which is one of the top institutes. We have a program with them. Again, I was there just last week with them. And that program also enables you to spend an entire semester there, but that's not part of the student exchange program. you can actually go. If you, there are people who can afford and spend that one semester there. We again, through the institution, these opportunities are created, and that's how they are all institutionally driven. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Great. Next question, please.
Okay, yes. So I have another question, sir.
Please.
About the alumni part, are there like alumni who are working in public administration?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of them, including some of them, the most recent alumni has joined the Indian Foreign Service. There have been alumni who have joined the Indian Revenue Service and other things. These are governmental ones, but there are alumni across think tanks, research institutions, non-governmental organizations, intergovernmental organizations, United Nations, very many, 8,000 of them. Our alumni office does track many of them, but yes, they are there all across.
Okay, thank you.
Who has the
Hi,
mic?
my name is Vineet.
Please.
Something I'm not aware of. What is the difference between a deemed university and deemed to be university?
Okay, great question. So this is one of the remarkable confusions about Indian higher education. So let me give you a very easier way of understanding this. So there are three ways by which a university can be established in India. First, the Parliament of India can pass a law to establish a university. Second, any of the state legislative assemblies could pass a law to establish a university. And three, the Government of India, through the Ministry of Education and UGC, can create a university. Very simple, three ways only. The ones which are created by the Government of India are generally called central institutions or central universities or national institutions. The ones which are created by state governments are called state universities, state public or state private. The ones that are created by the Government of India through the Ministry of Education and UGC are called deemed or deemed to be institutions. All institutions are legitimate institutions. All institutions are properly legally established institutions. All institutions are similarly situated when it comes to degree awarding power, authority to provide legitimacy, opportunity and everything, no distinction. Individual universities, whether they are central or state or public or private or deemed, may have reputation, which is completely an independent factor and has nothing to do with how they were created. We are actually a very unique institution. We were created by the government of Haryana as a state private university, and we were operating like that. Then in 2020, we applied through that process which I talked to you about, institution of eminence, and we became an institution of eminence deemed to be university. As you, through that only I'm sure you saw that elevates our status to be in a situation where we are like a national level institution. But that doesn't change anything when it comes to our degree awarding power and authority. The only important distinction that has happened is we are free from regulations, meaning Government of India has recognized, the few of us, that you have established yourself as an institution with some degree of achievements. We trust you, we believe you. Now we will give you 10 years and you rise above in the international rankings. So they have given a mandate to these IITs. So IIT Bombay is there, IIT Delhi is there, IIT Kharagpur is there, Indian Institute of Science Bangalore is there, Banaras Hindu University is there, University of Delhi is there in the public, and in private there are four of them, as I said. These institutions have been given regulatory autonomy and freedom to operate on its own. It's a very big achievement for us to do that. Otherwise, all this status are all same. They're all universities which have degree awarding power and authority.
What I've understood is that, so in 10 years' time, it'll be a deemed university? Is that the...
No. We are, such I said, we are 10 years, the 10 years only one thing will happen. The status of an institution of eminence has been given to all of us, IITs and others. We are given 10 years and said that we should become top 500 in the world. Right now we are 700 or something. So 10 years, we should become top 500. That's the mandate. In fact, in some parameters in law, we are already top 100. In employability, we are top 500. In young university rankings, we are top 150. So the mandate is to become top 500 in overall in 10 years. Let's say we fail. Then we go back as state private university. Nothing changes in terms of our status, degree, awarding power, authority to offer programs, all of that. We were doing whatever we were doing before. Now the only thing is we don't need to go earlier for starting a program. We will go to Government of Haryana, make a presentation and ask permission. They will approve it. Now we don't need to ask permission or approval from anybody. We operate independently. That's all.
I still haven't got the answer to my question. What is the difference between deemed to be university and a deemed university?
Oh, there is nothing like that. All of them are deemed to be university only. If somebody is writing deemed university, they are writing wrong. It's incorrectly written. It is only deemed to be university.
Thank you, sir. There is a question that has come online. The students who are looking at the online version of the open house. How does the ranking help in seeking the candidature of the student? Does ranking help a student in any which way? Because most of the universities are saying that we are in this ranking or we are in that
It's a
ranking.
great question. It's a great question. Listen, there are a lot of debates surrounding rankings. I want to just quote one amazing quote by the Vice Chancellor of University of Cambridge. Now, as you know, University of Cambridge is around 800 years old, and she said a few years ago so beautifully, she said very vociferously, she said, rankings do not capture everything that we do in our university. We do so many things for creating access, to build inclusivity, to provide scholarship, to build a community, to address our concerns of students. We are so deeply committed to all of that. So no rankings can capture all the wonderful things that we do at Cambridge. And then she paused and she said, but I love it when Cambridge University is ranked as #1 in the world. So this actually beautifully captures the point that as students, you should take all rankings with some degree of, skepticism, and that's healthy skepticism. You should look at what individuals and institutions actually do. So rankings are good parameters to kind of understand what the situation is overall in the scheme of things. It's a bit like, it's like trying to say, Stanford is ranked 7 sometimes in many rankings. But it'll be stupid for anybody to, Stanford is not top 3, That doesn't make sense, right? So like that, and even worse, there is an amazing university such as Indiana University in Bloomington. They may be top 100. There's a university of, where we partner with University of Arizona. They may not even be the top 200, but another great university. So what I want to say is that essentially what the Cambridge University Vice Chancellor said, rankings do give you some indicator of where the university has benchmarked itself internationally and within India. But the real thing is what you see is what you believe. So you are already on campus, and the person online should actually come into campus, meet with faculty, talk to students, talk to alumni, look at the curriculum, look at the infrastructure, look at the opportunities, and I'm a lawyer, so what we do is due diligence. That's the word. Conduct your due diligence. Don't go by what anybody says. You conduct your due diligence, which is what you're all conducting today. So when you do that, you will have sufficient informed understanding about what the institution is. That is the best way in which you will also take into account ranking. So in some ways, this is not one doesn't need to be defensive about rankings. One also doesn't need to be critical about rankings. All of it serves a very important purpose.
Thank you, sir. One more question for you from here online. So a student is asking.
Online wale ko sab campus bulao. Just ask them to come to campus.
So a student from Canada has asked, does OP Jindal accept transfer students from Canadian universities? I am currently in BA Honours program at a Canadian school. Thank you.
All right, it's a great question. First of all, it's not like we have any specific favorable environment for any specific transfers from foreign universities or Canadian universities and all of that. We generally are not in favor of transfers like that. However, individual cases, depending upon their own situation, they can make an application and that will be evaluated on merit. That merit constitutes several factors. For example, the compatibility of the programs that one has studied to one where one is transferring, the compatibility of the curriculum, the course structure, the grading system, the assessment, the learning outcomes. All those things are evaluated, and on that basis, a decision will be taken. There is no one size fits all transfer policy. There are approximately 60,000 universities in the world. There are 1,100 in India itself. We genuinely believe that no uniformly applicable transfer policy will justify and even do justice to an aspiration of a student to seek admission. We do take into account those individual factors and they can put in an application.
Thank you, sir.
All right, there are questions here. Parents? Yes, I also want to alert you to the fact that our classes begin in the next 3.5 weeks. We in fact expect the students to move into campus around the 25th of July, which is literally 20 days from now. So it's absolutely critical for all parents and students to make up their mind and take the decision and take it to its logical conclusion. We have a very robust orientation program, because our goal is to ensure that when 1st of August, when we begin the academic session, we have everything in place for students to have settled on campus and they are able to focus on their overall experience, both academically and otherwise on campus itself. I hope that they are going to see the hostel rooms and things like that, which are, I think, very important as well. I have to say to the parents that this hostel that we have built for our students here, it is approximately 10 to 15 times better than my room in Oxford, 25 times better than my room at Harvard. So you can assure that our students are having a very luxurious life here. But the luxury doesn't stop in the room. We have unfortunately spoiled them so badly that their clothes are also washed, dried and pressed as well. So they are so badly spoiled that when they go abroad for higher studies, they call up and send emails from them that they didn't sufficiently value their experience when they were here. Late realization always happens in life. So, but this is part of it. It's something that we did early on and we don't plan to change. But one of the things that influenced my mind was, I was in Delhi University as a student, and I spent my whole weekend washing clothes, drying them, pressing them, all of that. And I thought, this is kind of ridiculous because I could be doing so many other interesting things. So I thought, is there a way? And I lived abroad. That was also equally bad because I have to carry clothes, sometimes walk a lot to some washing machine and, put it there, then dry it. And then, so is there a way to make this part of a student's life easier? And then we just discovered this amazing company which does all of this. So washed, dried and pressed. So that's something which we have in our campus from 2009, and I'm sure your children will experience that as well. One of the things that it'll be very interesting for you to note is that we are very regulated about entry and exit. Students cannot leave the campus without parents giving them permission. So it's very, very, we're particular about that. Students hate it, parents love it. And in fact, I remember many parents telling me that this is so important because that's the only time my daughter or son calls me. So we have a model whereby without the permission of the parent, you can't step out of the campus. We have done that for a number of reasons, because we genuinely believe that all freedom should have some regulation. But more importantly, since we are not part of a city directly and we are slightly secluded, it's important to have some prior information. And there are different comfort levels. There are parents who feel that they can have their children, go and spend time over the weekends or otherwise in Delhi or elsewhere. And some others are a bit more concerned and restrictive. We have deferred to the judgment of the parents when it comes to these matters, especially when we are looking at high school students, undergraduates, coming into a university campus just after high school, where you are far more regulated. Good news is there is no uniform in this university, so you don't need to, you are free from uniform after your schools. Please.
Dr. Raj, one more question. The CUET results haven't come out. I don't know, does, paying up for the admission and taking it will be finally be reflected,
So, I mean,
somehow affected by the results?
My answer to that is, why bother? So what is CUT? Why, you can evaluate all colleges under CUT and then take a call. But I know as parents and as students, you will have to, weigh all these options in determining it. I think we are conscious of that, and there is some degree of flexibility in ensuring that before a certain date, there is a refund policy, which is a UGC announced policy. In the past, we have implemented that. And so, I'm sure admissions office can guide them about that as well.
I have just one last question. So for the semester exchange and all those programs, what is the qualification criteria for those?
All students are eligible for it. It's in some of the programs are more competitive than others. If you are a student in good standing and you're not failing and you're not struggling here in terms of coping up with studies, you're obviously in a good position to be part of the program. So for example, if you're a study abroad program or a short-term study abroad program, you have the competition is lesser, because you can have the Oxford program, we have 30 students go from liberal arts school, and so we can have more number there. Student exchange programs are obviously more competitive because people who can't afford education abroad can participate in it. There is a merit list prepared on the basis of so our goal, what we have done over the years, is create more and more opportunities so that students can go to some one particular program in the course of their journey. We have opportunities in Japan, we have opportunities in many parts of the world, and I'm sure our liberal arts colleagues will tell you. So we want to make it as democratic and inclusive as possible, so that every student in differential financial means are situated are able to get that opportunity.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Roy Kumar, I just want to know about one word about internships and placements in India.
Sure, great. We have a very robust internship program. In fact, the Office of Career Services, we have made sure that every semester our students are given an opportunity to pursue an internship program. And in fact, students can themselves take it, but we provide such opportunities for our students. And that's also part of our commitment, so that the summers and winters are spent in a more meaningful manner. We will also use the study abroad program as an internship too. So for example, if in a particular semester a student does a study abroad program as opposed to an internship program, then we can count that as a fulfillment of that requirement. Internships are absolutely critical. As far as placements are concerned, my general principle is, and I strongly believe this very personally, is that an undergraduate program of any kind should, in my view, lead to an understanding, an appreciation, and even a recognition for a student to pursue a master's degree program, a graduate program. In this day and age, for any student to expect that his or her career can be evolved through an undergraduate degree is a mistaken assumption. And they are anyways relatively young, and to experience life also, it's important for them to pursue an undergraduate master's program. But there are students who may choose to do certain job opportunities and maybe gain some experience, after which they may want to pursue. And we provide that opportunity as well through employers. But consistently, we are very clear, we don't guarantee jobs. That's not our business. Don't believe anybody who guarantees jobs. It is not the responsibility of universities to guarantee jobs. It is the responsibility of universities to provide best education. It is the responsibility of the university to provide a mentoring environment. It is the responsibility of the university to create an ecosystem of learning. It is the responsibility of the university to have institutional structures that enable a student to get those opportunities. It is the responsibility of the university to provide internships, which we have taken. It is the responsibility of the university to ensure that those opportunities are available for placement. But we don't come in between who will hire whom and what salary they will pay. Those are not our responsibilities. And if anybody in the world tells you that they will do it, they are lying, cheating, and possibly involved in illegal activities. Because I know in the higher education sector there are all kinds of dubious things that happen, and they may be involved in that. So don't believe anybody who gives job guarantees.
Can I? Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Jaya here. So, sir, my question is very basic, but then belonging to the education institute myself, so many students come to us, say in 6 months' time or 1 year time, that we do not belong to the course. So I have seen the course. This is a very holistic course, but I really want to know from you that, what if some students come and say that, in a year's time that we do not belong to the course?
It's a great question. It's a very important question because students are in a very impressionable age. I don't expect high school students to have absolute clarity in what. So one of the things when you are part of a multidisciplinary university like us is we have undergraduate programs across the entire gamut of liberal arts, humanities, and social sciences. So, and there have been such cases in the past, and we take every effort to ensure that their academic aspiration is not undermined, and so will provide an opportunity for them to, let's say, enroll in another program that the university is offering. Of course, it may not be in their best interest to decide to leave, but if that's what they want to do, we are, as per the university rules and regulations regarding refund policies and things like that, we adopt that as well. Because the ultimate goal should be to help students to be able to fulfill their aspirations. And we do a mentoring program at that time whereby students are able to talk about what their aspirations are. Fortunately, if you look at our university, for example, we have, let's say, in our business school, we have several BBA options. In our international affairs school, we have a BA Global Affairs and BA, Diplomacy and Foreign Policy. In our public policy school, we have a BA Eco and a BA Public Policy. In our journalism school, we have a Film and New Media program and a BA Journalism and Media Studies and Corporate Communication UG program. In our Environment and Sustainability school, we have BA Environmental and BSc Sustainable Development courses. So we have, and of course we have English language and literature courses. So if you look at the whole university, there are so many opportunities for our students to be able to explore if for any reason. But our own experience is liberal arts school is actually very uniquely placed because it does not ask you to choose your major right now. It actually provides you to experience a lot of what our university offers and then to gradually make that decision as you proceed towards higher levels of learning in the journey. So the chances of a liberal arts student wanting to leave is very less because you're actually experiencing a more diversified set of opportunities in the course of your learning itself. Yes. So I'm going to leave. So I need to rush now. Parents, any other question? Last question, please. then I'm going to request my Dean of Admissions to talk a little bit more about individual programs that we have. Yeah.
Good morning. I just want to learn a bit more about something dual degree.
Excellent. She's going to answer the question. The idea is about one student getting one degree from here and another degree from our partner institutions in a relatively shorter span of time. We have 2+2, 3+1, so many other such things. She's going to do that. All right, so I just want to say an absolute delight to see all of you. I hope to see some of you on campus towards the end of the month, but it's great to see parents here. For all the students, I must tell you, you're all very fortunate, because you know what? You didn't experience the 3 Idiots India, because in 3 Idiots India, no opportunities available for pursuing liberal arts and humanities. You are more likely to become a doctor or an engineer. The India that I grew up was preparing students to become doctors and engineers. Here you have parents actually, sometimes even reluctantly, believing that you are doing something meaningful. They may be absolutely clueless about what you want to do, but they are standing with you, sitting with you, and supporting you. So consider yourself very fortunate, and congratulations to all the students, and thank you to all the parents. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Do you want to do the video now or a bit later? Okay, before we take more questions and I respond to some of the questions that you have already had. Hi, my name is Professor Upasana Mahanta. I'm the Dean of Admissions and Outreach. I have my faculty colleagues from Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities here too. So we will be responding to some of the questions more specifically. But we just want to take a moment of your time. We have a video from Dean of the school, Professor Kathleen Modrowski. We want you to just hear her message and then we can have the conversation again. Thank you. Nishi, we can play it.
Okay. I'll take the video, please. So our Dean, Professor Kathleen Modrowski, she's in the US, and she has sent a message for all of you here. Can we play the video, please?
Hello, I'm Kathleen Modrowski, Dean of the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. I've met a number of you already at our other open house, and I'm still on my summer break. But while I'm on break, I want to show you a little bit of my neighborhood in Southampton, New York, which is on Long Island, not too far from Manhattan. Before I tell you more about the program, which you know of already, let's take a little walk down the beach, okay? And I'll just show you a couple of interesting sites that are very dear to me. I want you to see straight ahead. This is the bay, of course. And fishing is strictly controlled here. Creates a great sense of environmental awareness. The hill that you see over on my right is environmentally protected. It's a nature sanctuary, and all sorts of plants, animals, fish live in that area. We're going to walk a little bit further, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to talk to you what makes our program so unique. But I'd like you to get another view of the rest of the beach. So we're going this way. I'll show you the houses that are built on the beach. And one of the questions that we face all the time is, will these houses be standing for a while? Because of rising seawaters, vital to etc. But you'll learn more about that, and you already know quite a bit about environmental issues. Let's go and let me talk for a few minutes about the program. Most of you know what the majors are that you're going to take. You know the programs that we have. We're very excited that in the Liberal Arts and Humanities BA Honors Program, we have 3 new majors this year. They're Creative Arts Marketing, Digital Humanities, and Comparative Religion. These are all very important, very exciting programs, and we have very capable faculty who will lead you through a period of introduction to the courses, research, and discovery. Now, you may have already discussed, I'm going to move along a little bit, with the people in the admissions office that our program is based on interdisciplinary studies. That means that you have a chance to take on many different areas of study in the liberal arts and the humanities, including the basic subjects like philosophy, history, study literary studies program, anthropology, as well as courses in the fine arts program, and sociology, the sociology program, as well as our very popular international business program. I'm not going to go through everything because there's too much to talk about. But you may know that on firmer ground here, you may know that the program is based on interdisciplinary studies. As I mentioned, this means that you can be able to combine topics and not look solely through the lens of one topic. For example, when you study history, you get the foundational books of history. But at the same time, you're going to study the impact of history on the life and politics of people, on the geographical studies, what migration movements mean in these areas, and how history as such is something that determines a lot of the ways that people think and what they do. Now, these discussions, where are they going to take place? They're going to take place in a classroom. You will have text, you will have readings, but they'll also take place in what we call co-learning. That means that you'll be working with other students, with your faculty, and creating through your own ideas, your knowledge. They'll also take you, set up opportunities for you to study in the community. Work with people in the surrounding community, work with people in the Delhi metropolitan area, and in other areas of India as well. You also have wonderful opportunities to study abroad. We have one of the most vibrant study abroad programs. For slow semester, long study abroad, and also short-term opportunities outside India, and also within India. Some of the ones which come, some of the most exciting programs.
All right, I believe there were some technical problems. We'll just have a conversation and take questions. I'll address a couple of the questions that were earlier asked, and perhaps then I can request faculty colleagues to address. One thing that I wanted to say, there was a question about the undergrad program, and post that the Vice Chancellor was talking about the possibility of doing masters and the fact that it is even more desirable to perhaps go in for a masters. So as you may all be aware, we have 4-year undergrad program. To get an honors degree, you have to do a 4-year of undergrad program. So as part of the national education policy, if you've done a 4-year undergrad program and you've got your honors degree, then it is possible to go for a 1-year master's program. So post the 4 years of BA Liberal Arts and Humanities or BA Sociology that you would be doing, there is a possibility for you to do then a 1-year master's program. In fact, some of you who would have a stronger research component in your study, particularly in your 4th year, each program would work that out differently, but there are possibility of having a more research intensive 4-year along with your internships and your praxis based learning. In that case, depending on the university and the program that you're applying to, there is also possible to do a direct PhD. The National Education Policy has done away with the MPhil component. So there is no MPhil right now. So you can do a 1-year master's and then go in for a PhD, or if you had a certain research component and certain credits you have earned as a result of it, then there is a possibility also to apply for a direct PhD. So all of these options will then be available to you. Ma'am, there was a question about if students would want to leave, and the Vice Chancellor spoke about the gamut of possibilities available within the school and outside of doing multiple programs, and I would invite my colleagues also to talk about it. In the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, particularly the BLH program, offers the possibility of a self-designed major. So students can actually bring in areas of interest and aptitude and create a major of their own. I believe in the past students have done majors like environmental psychology, right? And I think my colleague will be able to speak more authoritatively about it. So these are a couple of things that I wanted to speak about. If you have any specific questions, you can ask, and I would like to also invite my faculty colleagues to say a few words, most specifically about the programs.
I welcome you all. I am Dr. Reshma Vats. I work as Associate Dean, Admissions and Outreach Department. We are so happy to meet you here. It's always a pleasure when we meet parents and children at campus. So, because after all, this entire ecosystem works for you, right? And as Sir said, Professor Raj said, always adopt due diligence. So, I am myself a parent of 2 growing up children, and in all matters which concern them, I adopt due diligence, whether it's medical treatment, sending them for a coaching, sending them to a university or a school, or, letting them make friends. There also we adopt due diligence. So similarly, I would want you to do that. We would want you to take a campus tour. We would want you to, look at the programs very, very minutely. Right? Do look at the courses very, very minutely. Think about your personality and your aptitudes, and just try to imagine where you can go after doing these programs. And if apart from that, if you have any specific questions, I would want you to please open up. It's a matter of your life. So this is very, very important, and these kind of platforms and open houses are very rare. I mean, if you get an opportunity like this, you must avail this opportunity. So no question is trivial here. No question is silly. Please ask. We will be too happy to answer all your questions. Take this as an opportunity. Yeah.
So this is again about the study abroad programs. So like say a student is selected for the program and they have to leave. So what is the logistical process behind it? By that I mean, like in the study abroad programs, a student basically they have to leave for like the overseas. So what is the logistics behind on the whole hostel part?
So we have our faculty, Professor Sangra, Professor Avinash Kodbule, and Professor Vikas Vaibhav from the School of Liberal Arts, and we also do have our existing students sharing their experiences with you. So probably if you have anything to be asked for, the faculty are already here to answer your question.
I would also request faculty members to briefly introduce themselves.
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sunil Sangra, and I've been a full-time faculty at JSLH now for over 5 years, and I think I'm enjoying every moment of it. And the reason I say that is I come from a background which is pure hardcore business. I did my economics in my undergraduation, did MBA, and then worked in the corporate sector full-time for about 20 years. And I've been balancing my time between teaching and consulting for the last 15 years or so. And I have been associated with some leading business schools where again you're teaching postgraduate students in hardcore programs and so on and so forth. And when I was invited by Dean Bodrowski to work with the students at JSLH, there was a certain amount of reluctance. What will I, a business background person, be doing in a liberal arts school? But as I look back upon the journey, I think it's been one of the most exciting ones. Because here is an opportunity to work with young minds who are so curious and willing to see how can various combinations be made. So Upasana talked about the whole aspect of self-designed majors. I think that's one example. And students come out with some very interesting combinations. So there have been students who've combined psychology and literature, or they've combined, let us say, economics and sociology, or business and creative arts, right? And some of them have gone on to do some pretty interesting things in terms of their postgraduate studies and so on. So I think that's one of the interdisciplinary nature that both the Vice Chancellor and Dean Madrasky talked about are, I think, one of the unique aspects of the school. And most of us, I mean, all our faculty colleagues are pretty convinced that this is essential for the nature of the future that we are getting into, which will require more of critical thinking, which will require creativity, which will require the ability to relate with people at different levels, emotional, psychological, social, and so on. And our endeavor is to try and help build those kinds of capabilities in the students that we work with. So, and may I now request the other colleagues to share a bit. Yoshiko?
Thank you so much, Professor.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Avinash. I teach international relations as part of the political science and IR group. I am also Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. So with Professor Jaini, I look after exams and other issues, issues of students' welfare and overall courses and related stuff. We also look at issues of students' grade completion and other issues that are ongoing. I'll also give you one example of self-designed major. I get a lot of students who want to do international relations and political science along with something else. So we had a student last year who did the IR and political science and history. He was interested in the history of armies, the role of armies and changing nature of war. So with us, he worked on a very specific aspect of the Second World War, for example. That was his interest, and he wants to be a military historian eventually, and I'm sure he'll do well. We had another student who did environment and political science on how policies are made and how politics gets into the field of environmental policy making. So there are a lot of possibilities of that nature. Obviously, political science and economics is the easiest self-design to do, and we have also had students who have done those sort of courses. Let me hand over to Vikas and Lily and Alia here.
Thanks, Avinash. Hello all, my name is Vikas Vaibhav. I teach quant skills and economics to the first year students. How many of you hate maths? All of us do, right? All of us do. In the very first lecture, when we go for this very basic quant skills, we get to know why do we hate maths. We need to remember formula, right? Do we really need to remember formula to learn mathematics? I don't think. And both of faculty, that is myself and my colleague Arun, both have had our own share of bad experiences with maths. So I did my engineering and I failed in engineering in one of the something called Maths 3. And I was not alone. I think out 50% of the students failed. And that got me thinking, why do we hate maths? I used to love math, but then we started hating it. And then I take special care. In fact, this whole liberal arts school takes special care that we need to understand that math is useful. Second, it is not difficult. And I think this epitomizes the whole idea of liberal arts learning. So, yeah, I wanted to get into defense services, could not clear it. Then I became an engineer, hated it thoroughly, and then became an economist. And then right now I'm liberal arts school. This is maybe typically, as in typical traditional Indian system, it would be like going downwards. But I love it. Other time I was meeting someone who is doing research on drug cartels in Latin American countries. I never knew that I will find someone who is doing research on something like this within India. That's a great part. Then I met someone who works on importance of universities in international relations. I am yet to talk to the lady, but yeah, so there are a few things that we are exposed to, as a faculties I'm saying. And obviously as a student, you can always take an appointment from faculties and you can just talk. So it may be a great idea if you have any hesitation, you want to take this opportunity to ask some questions regarding any kind of course material. So we have You just met Avinash. We have Professor Yoshiko from Psychology Department. You already met Sunil sir. We have Alia from Environment Studies. So any question you would like to ask, it can be as friendly as you want it to be. Sure. Okay, let me ask Alia to come in.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alia Naz. I teach here environmental studies. I'm teaching here from past 2 semesters. And after I joined, I find that liberal arts is the best place where I have placed because I am from core science. I did my PhD from IIT Dhanbad, and after that I gone for postdoc in IIT Kanpur. And after completing from I'm the core science student, and I'm in liberal arts and humanities, and I find it is the best place because I find the students are more curious about the science. Those students are coming from the arts background, they want to know more and more about science, and this is the motto of the course of the liberal arts and humanities. So last year, I have conducted a program on Sundarbans, and most of the students, it is one of the most successful program of liberal arts and humanities. And in this program, only 13 students taken part, and all the students got lots of experience. It's not only because Sundarban is famous for its tiger, but also it's famous for its other aspect, like for an example, I can say the political science students, they were more curious to know about the society, the living in the Sundarban. And they have given their beautiful videos and some experience in the form which I could show that video, I think. If we have time, we can show that video if everybody is okay, it's a 10-minute video on that. Students have prepared, particularly on their experience on the Sundarban. So it is fantastic, and I hope you all will enjoy liberal arts and humanities if you will join here. And if you have any question regarding anything, we are here to answer you. So if you have any question regarding anything, please ask. Okay, so I think there is no question, so I'm giving over to Yoshiko. Lily. Yeah, Lily.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yoshiko. My nickname is Lily. I'm originally from Japan. I joined JGU 2 years ago. At that time, I taught online class from Tokyo, and then moved to India in 2022. And I teach psychology, especially lifespan psychology, developmental psychology, and methodology. So as an example, in my major psychology, if you interested in psychology major, so for your semester 3, all students learn psychology 1, and then after that, if you are want to pursue psychology major, you can choose psychology major, and then several fundamental courses, especially social psychology, cognitive psychology, abnormal psychology, and other elective psychology major. And also you can create your own major called self-design majors. For example, some students learn psychology and literature psychology and industry in psychology and economics, something like that. So studying at JSLH, it's close relationships and small students community and very collaborative learning. So students can explore a lot of opportunity to learn major disciplines and also new disciplines at the JSLH. So we would love to take your questions and concern about the JSLH programs and the campus life. So please ask us. Thank you.
Yeah. We did not give you our time to ask questions, right? We just said that we'll take questions. So please feel free. You know almost all the faculties over here. Nothing? Everybody knows everything about the world, all on the... No, I would... Yeah, that's a better assumption. Yeah, please.
The student once have chosen the majors, and after pursuing a semester or sometimes spending time in those majors, is there any chance that he can change the majors later on? Once he has chosen the majors, say one student has chosen as economics and political science, for example, and after pursuing for a semester, he or she thinks that this is not the combination I was looking forward to, and I want to change the combination. So is there a probability that the student can change it later on?
Avinash, would you like to answer?
We have had only one case like that previously.
Okay.
So somebody switched from other subject to political science and higher actually. But it's not easy. I mean, it works. So what happens is students do certain number of core papers of a subject and certain number of electives. So if a student is transferring from economics to political science, then we can treat the subjects that he or she did in economics as electives in our course. But what will happen is the student will have missed the 4th semester of political science and will be doing the 5th and 6th. So in a way the student might miss the progressive level of courses. Difficulty increases from 4, 5, 6. So in their 6th semester, they will be repeating the 4th semester core subjects.
Yes.
So and the 6th semester is actually the time when the students are writing their thesis, planning for their masters and other stuff. So that's why it becomes a little bit difficult. It's not impossible, but that option is there.
But the majors are chosen in the 4th semester? After the 4th semester?
In the 3rd semester.
In the 3rd
so
semester.
Next year...
they'll be choosing the majors.
So next year, from August, we'll start this process. We'll have course meetings. We'll have an open house like this. We'll have closed groups from each subject. So we do political science open house and economics open house internally like this. So transfer is possible, it's not impossible, but then it means that you have to be 200% committed to that.
So after completing 1 year of studies, one has to choose the major, right?
In the middle of the 3rd semester.
In the middle of the
October
3rd
next year is when you know what you're studying from February of the year after.
Okay. And has been an example that some students who are pursuing technical studies like engineering or medical science, and after completing 1 year of say engineering somewhere, and they have made up their mind that they want to get into liberal arts. So do we accommodate those type of students also?
Not on the basis of credit transfer, but we had a student who did a IT undergrad, worked in an IT company for 3 years, and then just before the pandemic, she took admission in our school. In fact, I was the one who did the interview with her. So while doing her job and otherwise also she was socially aware and responsible, she wanted to work on issues like inequality and discrimination and so on, caste and gender issues and so on. That's why she took a transfer. But nobody, to my knowledge, no one has come after doing 1 year of engineering or something like that. But yeah,
so I will also add on to this, because I had the admissions and I've been interacting with all the students. There has been students in the past who have left the sciences, core sciences, and joined in the liberal arts. And last year, we had a student who has left the first year of computer science and engineering program from Mumbai and joined in the undergraduate liberal arts program. But they have to start from the scratch. The only reason behind this is the core foundation courses that we do at the School of Liberal Arts, they are not being done in the engineering. So we have students leaving the core sciences and joining the humanities, but also you'll be surprised to know that they are also taking applied courses. So for example, there are certain students taking environmental studies. They want to stick to the foundation of sciences and also want to study the transactional courses through liberal arts. So that possibility is there, but there is no transfer of the student coming.
Right, somebody has to start it from the basic.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Because I have twin sons, one is going for liberal arts, the other one is going for engineering.
He's coming here. I am not hearing this. He's coming here, joining the...
So that's why I asked that. Thank you so much.
Any other question, please?
Can the student herself or himself choose the major, or is there any selection criteria from the faculty regarding?
No, it's the student's choice to decide on the major, actually. It's not, we don't impose the majors on anyone.
Okay. Will there be any competitions? Like most of the kids, they want to study economics. That's what I've
It
heard.
actually varies. In our school, psychology used to be the first preference for most of the students, but I also had a reasoning for that. I mean, most of the students come from school where there are counselors, and you choose social science because you want to see change in the world. You want to make a change in the world, right? And these students have not seen economics or political science professionals in action. They have only seen psychologists in action in their own lives. That's why, I mean, this is, my psychology colleagues don't like me saying this, but that's the reason. They have not seen other professionals in action. So these 3 semesters are useful for that, again, to understand what you like, which subject drives your passion. So I tell this to the students that approach the foundation courses with an open mind. You never know, a certain reading, a certain article might spark your imagination. A 10-minute YouTube video might make you change your majors. It happens with many students, so yeah.
Adding on to
It's a-
Professor
it's part of the
Avinash's experience to this, I have seen students who come with an idea that I want to do psychology and economics as my majors, and they end up doing history because they love the faculty a lot, and the way they taught the program made them get interested in the program. So with respect to liberal arts and humanities, yes, there will be guidance provided, but the faculty will not impose their ideas to the students, right? So if you are coming with a preset idea or notion, probably there will be proper guidance provided during the mentor-mentee conversation to the student. You can do this, you can do this, these are the merits, these are the demerits, but the final decision has to be taken by the students. Many a times I've seen and experienced myself that the students have changed their course of interest that they have come in. They've put in their mentor-mentee form that I'm interested in psychology, and they end up doing design thinking and international business or international relations for that matter. So it totally depends upon how the student is oriented during the course and what areas of interest they have shown while they are taking up the classes. And also we have our alumni and the students who have done the courses here from Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. And many of them, I have spoken to Mahi, Manan, came with an idea, we're interested in psychology, and they're doing a public policy internship. So there are changes in the ideas of the people.
Also the internships, actually. I tell the students to diversify their internships before they choose their major. That also helps you identify what you like. Either you can specialize in your internship if you're already set in your mind that this is what I want to do. But I always tell the students to diversify their internships. Work something in publishing, some event management, or assist somebody write a book, for example. That can also be a good internship. Or students go to Jaipur Literature Festival. They do all sorts of jobs, from reception to managing the speakers and scheduling and so on. So that diversification of internships also helps them to identify their majors, actually.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, any other questions?
It could be, it does not necessarily have to be related to the course. If you have any questions about university, infrastructure, anything you can ask. This is an open, yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, would you be giving any kind of schedule of, when the semesters would be, when there would be vacations and all of that?
Absolutely. So there is an academic calendar. Once, if you have fulfilled all the formalities in terms of registration, payment of fee and everything, the entire process will happen online. Okay, so those of you who have paid the full fee or paid the registration fee, and you must have be already getting the emails regarding the onboarding process, right? So once the onboarding process is done, your even hostel allocation will happen online. All right, so when you come, you have to come with your original mark sheets. I'm going to two-part answer, this part also and about the academic calendar as well. So you have everything online. You will be given an online boarding pass when you finish the registration. It will have a QR code. So you come with that. When we scan that QR code, we get all your information on our device and we see whether you have fulfilled all the criteria, uploaded all your mark sheets, student code of conduct, everything has been signed or not. Once the process is complete, a photograph of the student will be taken by IT for the ID card and other purposes, and then you will be handed over the hostel keys and you go to your hostel. That's the onboarding process, and immediately with that, once you've settled down and your orientation process happened, you will be given the academic calendar. So academic calendar will have commencement dates of classes, semester breaks, what are the declared holidays, all of that information will be there. In some holidays when we work, for example, it will have information about convocation, it will have information about Founders Day, and if there is some working holidays, the Saturday that is taken off in lieu of that is also mentioned in the academic calendar. And the academic calendar is also uploaded on our website. So once that is ready, parents can also access it through the website.
Okay,
Any other question on that?
No, that's
So
it. Thank
yes. Yes, please.
With all this discussion, we haven't touched anything on, this foreign language part of it.
Oh yeah, the faculty can talk about the languages because
we never touched that part, right?
Yeah. We can certainly
understand
address
that.
this part. I will request the
was waiting
JSLH
for
faculty
someone
to.
to,
So
come
I
up
just
with
want
the
to say
thing.
I'm not a JSLH faculty. I'm a
No, I
faculty in
understand
another
that,
school.
but,
No, I just want to still give you the general overview. We have a language center, so there is possible to do French and Spanish, and I think also Persian in certain cases. These are the languages that are currently available. The students can do languages as an elective. From across any of the schools, you can enroll in the language. There's no limit on the number of languages you can do, given that you can take out the time to learn a language and get the schedule from the Center for Languages. And we also have a School of Languages and Literature. So there are also electives on Spanish and others that are offered in this school, and a student is free to do that. For the course, particularly of BA Liberal Arts and Humanities, Nishi, if you could highlight the requirement.
So Spanish as a foreign language is compulsory for the students, but if you have taken Spanish up to grade 4, you can take up a new language, which is we also teach students German and French. So there are 5 languages that we teach through the Global Language Center: French, German, Spanish, Mandarin, and Arabic. A few years back, we were teaching Arabic and Hebrew through Jindal School of International Affairs. And students who are interested in taking Mandarin, pre-COVID, we were also teaching Mandarin, so there was an option of for the students to choose between Spanish and Mandarin. But I think post-COVID, we have not seen many students taking up Mandarin. But to the surprise, the Mandarin language that we teach at Jindal Global University are through Taiwanese faculty. So in most of the universities, you will find out the fact that Mandarin as a language is taught to you by Indian faculty. And having said that, Mandarin taught to these students by Taiwanese faculty makes a lot of difference when you are applying abroad, especially to South Asian universities for your master's program.
Any other question? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, this is a great question, sir. This year we have launched the Digital Humanities as one of our very strong major. So we have faculty, Professor Swati Chawla and Professor Rukmini Pandey, who teaches Digital Humanities, who will be teaching the Digital Humanities program to the students. I have faculty talk about the Digital Humanities program.
Okay, thanks for the question. See, the whole idea is, okay, how many of you know how much is the poverty in India right now? Any rough idea? Rough number of poverty? Mostly because, am I audible? Yeah, mostly because we have seen the numbers, we have not seen the figures, right? So figures means like sketches, graphs, not the typical bar graphs. So the whole idea of digital humanity is to impress upon the audience we have all the Mint newspaper started this whole digital articles content. Now, people can understand this. See, pictures are way more impressionable for all of us than the numbers or the crude data that I personally play with. The whole idea is to present that story in a more impressionable way to the audiences who can actually make the changes. That's the whole idea of digital humanities. For more, I think the two faculties that Nishi talked about, that is Swati and Rukmini, they will be a better person to tell who are not available. They are on some research trip. Yeah, but we are actually working. We have launched it as a new major, I think 6 months back. Yeah, I would be happy to take more questions. No more questions? Nidhi, should we close it?
Yes, sir. So we'll be going for lunch in another 5 minutes. But before that, I want our students, existing students, Mahi, Ruchika, and Manan, to come and share their experiences with you all, guys. We have given you extreme download of the information, but I just want them to come and share their experiences with you as alumni of JSLH.
Hi, I'm Mahi. I'm a psychology major, and I knew I wanted to do psychology when I was in like 7th or 8th grade, but I wasn't sure when I had to fill in my applications. And if I hadn't taken liberal arts, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed the subject as much as I'm enjoying it right now, because I get to look at it from an aspect which includes history, it includes economics, it includes sociology, and I'm able to apply that to every single research paper I write or read about or anything like that. So when they say it's an holistic course, they really mean it. And it's given me the most multi-dimensional point of view that I could have towards the world and society in general. So, yeah.
Hello, I'm Ruchika. I am doing a self-design major in sociology and literature. Before liberal arts, I never knew what my majors would be. I think it really helped me to minimize and see what exactly can I do with social sciences in general. I have done my internship with the centers in OP Jindal as well, Center of Middle Eastern Studies. I'm currently doing a research intern there. I have interned in NGOs, and which have given me a diverse exploration of many fields and academics as well. So I think this was one of the best decisions which have helped me to explore my own interests and academics in general. Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, I am Manan. A very good afternoon to everyone. I am a second year student here, and I prepared for law in my class 11th. And by the end of it, because it was online coaching, I realized that I was sleeping more in the coaching than studying. And I realized this is not what I wanted to do. So the matter of fact is, the only college I ever applied to in my class 12th was Jindal. And the core reason behind that was not only did it have liberal arts as a course in it, but it had 11 other schools which give you an exposure on a day-to-day level, because classes will happen from 3 to 6 hours a day at max. There are another 16 hours in your day or 18 hours in your day which you need to spend, which you will be spending on this campus with nearly 12,000 people. And the holistic environment this place provides you, I think no college in the country, the amount of research which I did, because I made a whole list and made my parents a little hyper about where I'm going. But at the end of the day, I made my decision. And when it comes to internship, I think definitely. So last semester I did my internship with Professor Swati, which was an archival internship. This semester, I think someone asked a question on public administration. So I'm doing an internship with a member of parliament who is a Rajya Sabha MP in Delhi itself. So Jindal does provide with all those opportunities and I do work as a volunteer with the Office of Career Services. So I do understand how the internship cycle works here. And it's the Office of Career Services throughout the year works in regards to finding internships, placements, and that's a very detailed process, and they try to help you a lot. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, and hope to see most of you within a month.
Thanks, Manan. Well, I have encountered several questions like this, which Manan shared an idea with while I was counseling and talking to most of the students and parents about that. If my son or daughter wants to go for public administration or for bureaucratic services, why liberal arts to be chosen? And the answer has been given by a student. Many a times it happens that we are very indecisive of what majors we want to take and what our career goals are. When we talk about liberal arts and humanities, people have a misconception about the fact that if you are indecisive, please take up liberal arts and humanities. But the core content here remains ungathered by most of the people, that if you want to apply for bureaucratic services, legal education, or for any of the corporate job opportunities later on, the few thing that would be developed by a liberal arts student vis-a-vis any other student would be creativity, exclusivity, experimentativeness, and the kind of logical and creative thinking that you actually require in the coming job market would be developed by the liberal arts student, because the curriculum, the kind of the pedagogy that is being used is ever evolving. So thank you everyone. Thank you parents, students, our alumni and our faculty for joining us here today. We'll go for a tour of the campus now, and if anyone is interested in meeting with me or having a discussion, I will be there in I'll be there for you to help you out with your queries with respect to admissions process, what could be done later on, or whatever questions we have. Our alumni will also help you show around the campus. So in case if there are any questions coming up, I'm there to help you all guys. Thank you one and all for coming in. It was a great day to host you all. Thank you.